sportsnetusa.net. We are live from Santiago Canyon College, where the Santiago Canyon Hawks will be taking on the visiting Long Beach College Vikings. I'm Ryan Osborn alongside Mark Pavlovich, and in center field calling all the shots is Ed Ford. Mark, playoff game between Santiago Canyon and Long Beach City College. It's the second of possibly three. Santiago Canyon takes the first one, 10-1.
Yeah, and really when you think about yesterday, it was all jitters by Long Beach City College when you talk to the staff and everything as we get ready for the national anthem. And Ryan, to go back to that statement, it really was. It was jitters by Long Beach City College when you think about it. Defensively, what they were doing is they were a little hesitant in the outfield yesterday when they were on the defensive side of the ball. And when you end up talking to Megan Martinez, the head coach for Long Beach City College, she said, you know, the girls just were a little overwhelmed by this first game. And they went out to dinner last night. They sat around to talk. Everybody relaxed. I think you're going to see a different Long Beach City College team show up into this second game, best 2 out of 3 here against Santiago College. When you flip it over and we talk to Lisa, well, what do you say about a team that just seems to hit the snot out of the ball every time they play anybody, ends up on second base when they get a base hit, and seems to drive in runs the way you and I seem to eat empanadas when your grandmother makes them? You've got to slow them down, and that's going to be the job for Long Beach in the circle today. They've got to slow down a very prolific scoring softball team in Santiago Canyon, and if you can do that, then you'll make it to Game 3, and if you can make it to Game 3, then it's anybody's outcome. And I mean, as cliche as that is, Ryan, that means if you win Game 2, you just relaxed if you're Long Beach City College. And that means all of a sudden you know you can play against them. You've already beaten this team once, 2-1. So it's not that you can't beat them. You have beaten them, and that's the attitude you need to bring to this game.
And you look at Long Beach City College, overall record of 23-18. They went 8-4 in their conference. This is a conference that includes Mount Sac, who for much of the year was considered as the second or third best team in the entire state of California. So we're going to get started with the Long Beach City College Vikings. Up to the plate to start things off, it'll be Daisy Velasquez, and she's starting over at second base. Leading off, batting right, she'll show bunt. First pitch is delivered out and away, and it ends up being 1 ball and no strikes. We're in the top of the first inning, just underway, as this one is laced into right field, going back on it and in time. Making the catch is Taylor Whitney. So Velasquez goes down on a quick flyout to right field, and Denise Flores will be coming up next.
One thing we heard about this team is that they are really
That's a strike on the outside corner.
They really are a team that plays defense well when you look at the Santiago Canyon team, especially in the outfield. Don't get enough love defensively.
This one goes way inside on Denise Flores and ends up plunking her in the helmet, and she'll go up to first. First runner on base for Long Beach City College on the HBP. And Alyssa Cienfuegos is up next. Cienfuegos, normally a pitcher, batting right, throws right. 5'8" out of Carson, California. And she's just a freshman batting in the 3 spot. Kristen Piazza in the circle. Delivers out and away for 1 ball and no strikes.
To watch Cienfuegos up in the box trying to take away any breaking pitches or anything else when you look at it.
This foul back straight to the screen. And it is now 1 ball and 1 strike. Once again, Ryan Osborn alongside Mark Pavlovich, and in center field you have Ed Ford and Van Vu. Southern California playoffs for softball underway. Santiago Canyon took the first game last night as this one's hit deep into left field. Going back is Sydney Doherty. She can't make the catch, and having to stop over at first is Cienfuegos. Absolutely puts a charge into that one and just narrowly misses, giving Long Beach City College a 2-0 lead.
Well, and when you look over at Flores over at first base, I mean, really Flores wasn't quite sure if that ball was going to get caught or not, Ryan, and that's the thing. You don't want to walk yourself into a double play to start things off. As you look at Doherty over there in left field, looked like she was going to settle underneath the ball, and then realized it was going to carry far enough to go off the wall. So Long Beach looking to answer quickly in this first inning.
The wind is going from home plate out towards left field, so that'll be a factor as we continue to move on in this game. Fouled off by McCallop, and she's batting cleanup this afternoon. Aaliyah Vega would be after her.
Amanda's hitting .326, slugging percentage of .426 for Long Beach.
Shows bunt, hits it down the third baseline, and Veit Gertze lets it go foul and picks it up thereafter. No balls and 2 strikes. Santiago Canyon and Long Beach. The two teams played each other twice earlier on in the season. It was a doubleheader, and the games were split. Both of them were decided by 2-1 scores. First game was taken by Long Beach City College 2-1, and then as this one is popped up, it is Hensler. Infield fly rule is called, and she is able to make the catch. So a pop-up for McCallop makes it 2 outs. And up next is Aaliyah Vega. But once again, Santiago Canyon takes the second of the doubleheader, 2-1 as well. So two teams that look like they were evenly matched, Mark, coming into this playoff tournament. But all of a sudden, Santiago Canyon turns on the Jets last night. Fouled off to the left, 0-1.
Last night what Santiago Canyon did is they found pitching. And we talked to Lisa before the game and said, if you find pitching, you're the dark horse in this tournament altogether. We know they can hit with anybody. We know they can play defense with anybody. They haven't been able to pitch with everybody from the circle. If they can do this, Brad Pickler, Cypress, and everybody else, wake up. There's a team to deal with.
Watching it out and away is Aaliyah Vega. 1 ball and 1 strike. Kristen Piazza is in the circle. Behind the plate is Chrissy Woodling. Over at first is Emily Olagi. She was an all-state selection, along with the third baseman Manoa Veit-Gertze. Slap foul down the third base line, almost taking a piece out of Coach Martinez. Over at second is Alyssa Cienfuegos. At third, once again, Manoa Veit-Gertze. At short is Amelia Hensler. That'll be it for the infield. In the outfield, left to right, it is Sydney Doherty, Amber Elliott in center, and Taylor Whitney in right. Back in the box is Aaliyah Vega, batting left-handed. 1 ball and 1 strike. She'll watch a high one. They're going to appeal to see if she went around. She did not, and she was able to hold up just in time. Now it's a 2-1 count.
Here's the thing, too, Ryan, when you look at this Santiago team, what's happened in the circle, this was a team that would average maybe giving up 3 or 4 walks a game in the circle. All of a sudden, they have found control. Maybe they give up their hits, but they're not given the free ride. And if you look at the entire bench for Santiago, they've said that's the difference in the pitching in the circle right now. If they can continue this, they are a team that are reckoned with.
The 2-1. Swing and a miss. And down goes Vega. That will end the inning for Long Beach City College, so they get 2 on. Alyssa Cienfuegos almost takes one out of the yard, but it ends up with no runs. On 1 hit, no errors, and 2 runners left on base. Long Beach City College not able to score, so it's 0-0, Santiago Canyon and Long Beach. This is Santiago Canyon softball on SportsNetUSA.net.
If Long Beach wins this game, we will be here for 2 today on SportsNetUSA.net. But it doesn't end, even if it is only 1 game. Well, next weekend, we all pack our bags again, and we head to Super Regionals at Cypress College. That's if Cypress wins. We head to Cypress College to do the Super Regionals here on SportsNetUSA.net. Ryan Osborn, myself, Corey Nealon may make it out to those games next weekend. Van Vu and Ed Ford will definitely be there here on SportsNetUSA.net.
For Santiago Canyon, their lineup will be Sydney Doherty, followed by Amber Elliott and Manoa Veit-Gertzi. Those are the first 3 in the bottom of the first inning. Emily Olagi will be batting cleanup, followed by Mckenna Boyle, who has been on fire in the last half of the season. According to head coach of Santiago Canyon, Alyssa Cienfuegos, will be batting 6th. Amelia Hensler, Chrissy Woodling, and Taylor Whitney will round out the batting lineup for Santiago Canyon. Sydney Doherty, who will be leading off for Santiago Canyon, had 50 stolen bases in the regular season. And stole a couple yesterday as well.
And Ryan, she's going to face Anissa Hamilton, who we got told is a junk pitcher. Now, do you see junk pitchers in softball that often? No, you don't. You see a lot of power. You'll see somebody throw a nice, fast rise pitch. They will come back with a screwball. They will have a breaking ball that will break in on somebody's hands. They will go high and low. When somebody says a junk pitcher to me, traditionally I'm going to say, well, you're lucky if you top out at 42 miles an hour. So we'll see what she does, and if that change of speed can keep Santiago off stride.
First pitch is out and away. 1 ball and no strikes to Sydney Doherty. Doherty batting left. She'll be followed once again by Amber Elliott, who's starting in center field, and Manoa Veit-Gertzi. All-state selection. And Doherty takes a strike on the outer half. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Doherty, number 2 in the state in stolen bases like you brought up. Leader with 51. She's at 49.
That's up and high, 2-1. And the leader played in a playoff game yesterday afternoon. Unfortunately, didn't go the way Santa Ana College would have liked, as Santa Ana loses to Antelope Valley 20-1. Doherty slaps this one into the hole at short, and it will scamper on into left field. Sydney Doherty with the first hit for Santiago Canyon, and they have a runner on first. And this is a situation, Mark, where we talked to Coach Martinez of Long Beach City College. He said, Santiago Canyon, they like to create chaos on the base pass, but Coach Martinez liked the way that they were able to limit the base pass running for Santiago Canyon yesterday.
Yeah, but the thing is here, when you look, you're going to bring it in at the corners when you look at them. So they got Juarez and Flores. There she gets ready to go. Snap, throw to first, but Ryan, I'm going to bring in my corners to take away from a possible bunt. Therefore, I'm really dependent on my second base person to try and figure out where do I go on these pitches home. Do I cover second? Do I rotate towards first defensively?
Doherty's going, swing and a miss by Amber Elliott, and she's able to steal outright. So Doherty scoots to within one of the state lead as she steals that base, and Amber Elliott has a 1-1 count. Manoa Veit-Gertze to follow. Amber Elliott committing no errors on the season defensively for Santiago Canyon, and she'll watch a strike that just shades on the outside corner, 1-2.
If you're Long Beach now with a 1-2 count, maybe back up the corners a half a step.
Elliott batting .466, second on the team in stolen bases with 26, as Doherty takes a couple steps towards third. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Do you even consider trying to steal third right now?
With the speed that you have on second base, you would look at it, but then you also want to look at Elliott possibly with the squeeze up towards first, as this one's bounced right back to the pitcher. Hamilton takes a look at third and fires it over to first for the out. Fielder's choice allows for Doherty to go to third, and Amber Elliott is down, 1 out. Manoa Veit-Gertze up next. Veit-Gertze recently named the top young European player as she played in a European tournament over the summer after winning the state championship last year. And last time we saw her mark was against Santa Barbara College, where she absolutely tagged 2 straight home run balls over the left field fence. Hamilton with the strike, no balls and 1 strike.
If Hamilton's going to change speed and be a junk pitcher, one thing you have to do is really bring it in on the lower half of the bat against a power hitter. You can't hang it over the plate. You've got to jam her with the pitcher, go very far away with it.
Veit-Gertze pops this one straight into the air. Over on it is Aaliyah Vega, but not being able to make the catch is Sierra Torres. So Veit-Gertze is over on first. That'll be a single. She gets the RBI. 1-0. Santiago Canyon starts things off. Doherty crosses the plate. 3 batters in. Santiago takes a quick lead. Mark, miscommunication in center and left field leads to an easy run.
Well, and I think the other thing is, to reputation leads to a run. Big power hitter. You're back another 3 feet. She gets an excellent pitch. Hamilton jams her. She jams it to right field. You're back 2 more steps than you normally are, and you're breaking back on a full swing. You come in on it. You're late getting to the ball.
Hamilton outside. 1 balls and no strikes to Emily Olagi. And for Olagi, she led the team with 8 home runs and 53 RBIs on the year, starting at first, and a right-handed batter. Olagi out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, as Veit-Gertze steals the base. So Santiago Canyon being aggressive early on in the bottom of the first inning. They have a 1-0 lead, and Olagi has a 2-0 count. For Veit-Gertze, that's her 18th stolen base this year. Olagi will dig back in, and Hamilton gets the sign from Sam Ontiveros behind the plate. She'll watch a high strike, 2-1. Anissa Hamilton in the circle, Sam Ontiveros behind the plate, Julio Juarez at first, Daisy Velasquez at second, and Denise Flores is at third. Amanda McCallop rounds out the infield as Hamilton will deliver the 2-1, and it makes it 3-1. Alyssa Cienfuegos in left field, and Sierra Torres is in center with Aaliyah Vega in right. That's the Long Beach City defensive lineup. Veit-Gertze over at second. Hamilton the 3-1. Swing and a miss there from Olagi. Count will go full, 3-2. And Mark, she wanted to give a quick and early 3-0 lead to
Yeah,
Santiago.
and I think it's interesting, too. Watch Sierra Torres for Long Beach. She has moved in 2 feet. So if you can take the ball to dead center field, you got a center fielder that stepped in because of the last play where the ball dropped short and got a base hit.
Alagi will foul this one to the screen. Count stays at 3 balls and 2 strikes, but you also stay with the outfield and you look in left field. Alyssa Cienfuegos is a couple steps towards the line, while in center field straight away is Torres. So that leaves a big gap in left center.
Yeah, and you've got somebody that's up to the plate that can drive the ball in a line drive.
The 3-2 is sent opposite way. It will be Vega who's able to make the shoestring catch. She'll throw over to second and double up Gertzi is second. So Gertzi reading it off the bat that he was going to drop makes the wrong decision as Vega is able to make a great catch in right field and double her off. No run, or make it 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and no runners left on base. The score is 1-0 Santiago Canyon on top of Long Beach City College. This is the SoCal playoffs here on SportsNetUSA.net.
Well, every time something seems to work against you, Ryan, you get that one break that works for you. Again, you looked at an outfielder that in Vega was unsure of making the play. You saw her do it the last time the ball drops in there. She comes in, turns her glove at the right second, because I know I'm sitting next to you. Both of us are probably flinching going, oh, that's going to drop. Turns it. My problem with the whole play isn't what Long Beach did. You've got to be more aware if you're out at second base for Santiago Canyon and know that ball's going to drop. You're already rounding third base on a line drive, hit to right field. I mean, you've got to know that ball is for sure going to drop on the ground. Miscommunication. And now if you're Long Beach, that extra run that you just didn't give up works in your favor. You're in a dead tie. Mentally, as far as I'm concerned, I'm in a dead tie because Santiago gave me a run back.
1-0 lead for Santiago College as Long Beach will step back up to the plate. Julia Juarez, starting first baseman, will be followed by Cynthia Ruiz and Sierra Torres. For Juarez, freshman out of Long Beach, bats right and takes this one just under the kneecaps, 1-0. Juarez, the right-handed batter, will be followed by the designated player in Ruiz, and she'll take it up and in for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. In at first is Emily Olagi, and Gertzi is a couple steps in at third. Piazza delivers to Juarez. This one's just going to get past the diving Soikia and into center field. A single for Julia Juarez. Gets another runner on for Long Beach City College. They left 2 stranded in the first inning, and Cynthia Ruiz, the designated player, up next.
So let's see if Megan Martinez does what's traditional for softball. You got a run back. I'm going to emphasize this again. You got to run back from Santiago. You're down by 1. Do you play traditional softball right now, drop down that bunt, get that runner to second? Or do you just sort of say, hey, you know what? It's a beautiful Saturday afternoon. It's overcast out here. It's not too hot, as we're going to get a designated runner. Or are we going to not play that? Ryan, I'm going to say with the designated runner out there, we're going to drop that bunt down and move the traditional softball play. Santiago Canyon looks like they're agreeing with us defensively right now.
Savannah Gonzalez, the 5'3" freshman out of Long Beach, will be the designated runner at first. Showing bunt right away and popping it into the area will just land, and it gets away from Olagi at first. Gertzi throws over to second, getting the runner in time. Making the tag is Amelia Hensler, and not being able to recover on the overstep ends up being Gonzalez. So the bunt and the near error go for naught as Long Beach ends up still with a runner on first.
And again, if you're that love of softball fan, you look at somebody and say, you get a break against a very prolific team. Go to second base and stand there. No reason to go anyplace else.
Torres up next, and she'll show bunt right away. She brings it right back to the box. A miscommunication between Piazza and Olagi. And Soikia was backing up Olagi at first. They're able to get the runner at first. The sacrifice eliminates Torres, but Cynthia Ruiz goes up to second, and Sam Ontiveros up next.
Runners at second and third, one out if you're Long Beach right now. And I mean, these are the things. This is where champions, when it comes to winning a state title, it's the mistakes that nobody talks about. And when you don't make those mistakes, that's how you're state champions.
Ontiveros takes out and away, 1-0.
Good arms in the outfield with Doherty and Elliott and Whitney. So you may not turn the runner if there's a base hit here.
Ruiz at second, and Ontiveros takes an outside corner strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Elliott a couple steps in center, as is Whitney in right. And 2 steps back is Sydney Doherty in left field. Infield at even depth, and Ontiveros will turn on one and send it the other way to Olagi, who takes a step over to first and makes the out. No runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base for Long Beach City College in the top of the second. As we go to the bottom of the second, it's 1-0 Santiago Canyon on top of Long Beach. This is SoCal Playoff on SportsNetUSA.net.
Ryan, you know, this is the second day for many teams. So we had a lot of teams that played yesterday. So let's take a look back on Friday and tell us who did what.
Well, you got to start with the number 1 seed in Cypress. They end up playing Allen Hancock, who beat Fullerton College in the playoff game, or the play-in game. And Cypress takes advantage 5-2 on Allen Hancock, so they're up 1-0 in the series. Then you have number 9, College of the Canyons, the only true, I guess you could say, upset mark in this one, as they win over Southwestern, who was the number 8 seed, 4-3. Then Palomar ends up getting the 5-4 victory over Pasadena. Santiago Canyon and Long Beach, once again, Santiago Canyon takes a 10-1 win, and they lead 1-0 in the 3-game series. Then you have El Camino, who put up a 9 spot on Riverside City College, who was ranked number 14 going into the tournament. And they end up winning that one over Riverside. Antelope Valley wins 20-1 over Santa Ana in 5 innings. And Cerritos beats Citrus 10-4. Mount Sac, one of the top 5 teams in the state, ends up mercing Ventura College 8-0. That's the Southern California CCCAA Softball Championships regional pairings. And then if you go to Northern California, you got College of San Mateo 10, and Yuba ends up getting nothing. So the top 2 seeds in the state of California, both number 1 seeds, College of San Mateo and Cypress, end up taking a 1-0 lead in their series. Diablo Valley, Sierra, Foothill, Cosumnes River, Taft, Ohlone, and San Joaquin Delta all taking the initial results on Friday afternoon. And it was number 11 Taft who was able to get the biggest upset there, as they got the 6-4 victory over Monterey Peninsula. Boyle at the plate takes an immediate strike, 0-1.
Right now, Santa Ana's up in their game, their second game, 1-0 over Antelope Valley. It's in the 3rd inning.
Boyle watches this one in the dirt. 1 ball and 1 strike. Boyle will be followed by Alyssa Soikia and Amelia Hensler. Batting .500 on the year is Boyle. Had a home run against Mount Sac. Little dunker over to second, and Daisy Velazquez reads it well. and is able to catch the line out at second base. That'll be the first out of the bottom of the second inning. Alyssa Cienfuegos up next. In the on-deck circle is Amelia Hensler.
Some other games going on right now. Pasadena City College playing Palomar. That game's all tied up at 3. Wait a minute. Is that a continuation from yesterday?
Hamilton delivers one low, and Cienfuegos watches it for a ball, 1-0. Hamilton in the circle, and Sam Ontiveros behind the plate, the battery mates, this afternoon. Outfield straight away with Vega, Torres, and Cienfuegos. Turning on this one is Cienfuegos, but it's just a shade too early as it goes into the dugout foul, 1-1.
And watch Hamilton in the circle, somebody who takes that full back arc to get motion on the ball. Even though she's not a power pitcher, she takes that full elevation going all the way back. That's going to give her more lift on the ball, Ryan, so she can do more spin with her deliveries.
Just as you mentioned, that one spins high in the zone. Wasn't able to get it to go lower. 2-1.
That was a great off-speed pitch. Just a little off the plate. That thing was dead coming to home plate.
Denise Flores 2 steps in at third. Juarez backs up, and Denise Flores is able to make the catch. So those 2 steps up allows her to make the defensive play, and Cienfuegos lines out. So on 5 pitches, Santiago Canyon has 2 outs, and Amelia Hensler up next. One to nothing, Santiago on top of Long Beach. The Hawks and the Vikings this afternoon. Left-handed delivery from Hamilton is away. 1 ball and no strikes. Overcast day, high of only 66 degrees at the start of the game. And Hensler sends this one down the right field line. That's going to land and kick towards the corner. Getting there in time is Vega to limit Amelia Hensler to just first base. That's the 3rd hit of the game for Santiago Canyon, and they have a runner on for the 2nd straight inning.
I tell you, Hamilton has pitched much better than she's getting the love from the softball gods out here. She really should be just sitting there at 0 right now. When you think about it, she's doing an excellent job for the Vikings in the circle.
Hamilton into the wind. That one stays high for Chrissy Woodling. 2-0. Taylor Whitney is on deck if the inning continues.
Woodling's got a slugging percentage of .452 for Santiago.
Hamilton, the 1-0. That one stays away. Pickoff attempt over at first. They got her. Long Beach City College is able to pick off the runner at first in Hensler, and that will end the inning. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and no one left on base. Santiago Canyon continues with the 1-0 lead over Long Beach as we are in the CCCAA Southern California playoff here on SportsNetUSA.net.
Well, you and I had a little fun because we checked the history of this Long Beach team. We talked to Megan Martinez, who was just, you're looking for a community college to go to play softball. What a great school to go through. I love this coach. She loves her player. And what a tradition at Long Beach. Ryan, we looked at it. 9 consecutive years they won their conference. In 3 of those years they won it, though, there's a name that's talked a great deal about in college softball that was connected with this Long Beach team. And I'm sure a lot of people in this crowd don't know that the current head coach at Oklahoma, the current defending D1 champions in softball, used to be a coach at Long Beach City College.
Patty Gasso ended up coaching from 1991 to 1994 here or over there at Long Beach City College. Like you said, the 3 consecutive conference championships and set a standard for Long Beach City College. And in 2001, they were able to win the state championship with none other on the team than the head coach right now, Megan Martinez, as she was one of the starters for that state championship team.
And when you realize when Patty went to Long Beach, there wasn't anything going on. I mean, so she recruited all around the area, made Long Beach a contender in her years, and then went to Oklahoma, where softball wasn't even talked about. And, of course, now you talk Tennessee, Oklahoma, Florida, Florida State, Oregon, UCLA. So you've got another coach at Long Beach that has got the same passion that a Patty Gasso had.
Daisy Velazquez shows bunt and pulls it back for a strike. No balls and 1 strike. Velazquez, Flores, and Cienfuegos, the top of the order for Long Beach up at the plate. She turns on this one, dinks this one into center. So Velazquez is on first. Very quickly, Long Beach City College trying to get things going. We talked to Coach Megan Martinez, and she said yesterday her players were a lot more nervous going into the game, and you can see it, Mark. They're just sitting back on balls now from Piazza and attacking them. Vike Gertze 4 steps in front of the bag at third, and this one is hammered towards left. Getting back on it is Doherty. She's not able to make the catch as it goes off her glove. She's going to throw it over to third, not going to be in time as the double ends up going there for Denise Flores. Runner on third is Velazquez, and Flores is at second.
Give Megan Martinez an assist on that one because Megan realized that ball wasn't going to get caught. And she had people moving on the play. That's why you've got runners at second and third right now. Excellent coaching by the Vikings.
This one was a hit, and it's popped up by Cienfuegos on the first pitch. Making the catch is Emily Olagi. I was just about to say Cienfuegos had tagged a ball in the last inning, but she offers out the first one and doesn't get it. Amanda McCallop is up next at the plate.
Well, everybody knows, following Ryan and I, we love the first base person here at Santiago College. This young woman knows how to play leather-wise with a glove. And we were talking about how they really take pride over at Santiago Canyon with their infielders. And they've had a coach on this team that's an ex-first base person that makes sure they've got the best first base people in the state. Well, as a matter of fact, they do have the best first base person in the state.
Olagi once again with her 8 home runs and 53 RBIs. That one is low to McCallop. 1 ball and no strikes. And you look at Olagi overall on the year, a .984 fielding percentage. Turning on it once again is McCallop, and it's now 1-2. And Mark, you're starting to see a mentality shift from Long Beach City College. All of a sudden in these last 2 innings, they have offered early on pitches by Kristen Piazza.
Well, and I think, again, I'm going to go back to Megan Martinez. I think she got her girls to relax out here, and they're starting to play just softball instead of worried about their opponent.
Fouled off, same location by McCallop. Leah Vega is on deck, only 1 out for Long Beach, and they have runners on second and third. 1-0, Santiago Canyon leads Long Beach in both the series and the score right now. Kristen Piazza is in the circle, and behind the plate is Chrissy Woodling. Up and high, thinking of going after it was McCallop, and she holds up. 2 balls and 2 strikes. We're in the top of the 3rd inning. Once again, SCC on top of Long Beach. Piazza gets the sign, the 2-2. In at the ankles, and it's now a full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
We've heard Piazza has improved on her control, and that's what's made her a dominant pitcher recently for Santiago Canyon.
Piazza delivers with a full count, and it's over to shortstop, and Hensler is able to make the catch. Olagi bluffs back to third, but quickly, McCallop ends up going down on the ground out to short. Aaliyah Vega up next.
You know how that glance stops you from eating something? You're Thanksgiving, you've eaten already 3 plates, and somebody gives you that glance like, Ryan, enough is enough. That's what you just got at shortstop on that play. I'm going to glance at you at third.
That one just outside for 1-0. Mark, when it comes to food, I see the glance, but I still shake it off.
Well, you'd have been thrown out by Hensler then because she'd had you dead to right because she just makes that traditional glance enough to say, I'll go for you if you head home, and then makes the play at first.
Here's Piazza delivering. 4-hop down to second, and Soikia is able to make the play to first. Long Beach not able to capitalize. No runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 runners left on second and third for the Long Beach City College Vikings. 1-0, Santiago Canyon leads Long Beach as this is the Southern California CCCAA playoff here on SportsNetUSA.net.
Like we said, if Cypress wins their game and hosts the Super Regional, we will be there this next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday here on SportsNetUSA.net. Santa Ana and Antelope Valley tied up at 1. Cypress up over Allen Hancock at the end of 2. 1-0 in their game. The rest of the games look like they're starting a little later in this afternoon. Haven't started yet. Nothing in Northern California either. So those are the only other games going on besides us right now, Ryan. And of course, Antelope Valley, State Player of the Year. We saw them earlier in the Golden West College Tournament. You and I both said if Antelope Valley ever starts hitting the softball, they're going to be deadly. They had a young lady on their team that not only hit the softball, but drove in, what'd you say, 93?
94 RBIs, 21 home runs, 94 RBIs, a batting average of .575, which was good enough for third in state for Paige Johnson, who gets named State Player of the Year.
Wow. That's just amazing. 94 RBIs in softball is just, that's outrageous. You know, we're not talking 50, 60 game seasons. If you're lucky, you top out at 40. You know, so that's over 2 RBIs a game.
And a lot of people were talking about Emily Olagi for Santiago Canyon, who had the 53 RBIs. She was third in the state. The next closest person was with 61 RBIs in Northern California. Nobody got close to Paige Johnson. Up and high for Chrissy Woodling. Woodling was at the plate when Amelia Hensler was picked off at first base to end the bottom of the second. So Hensley gets another opportunity, 1 ball and no strikes. Actually make it 0-1 as it clipped the outside corner. This one bounces in there, and it's now 1-1.
It's fun when you watch as you watch Juarez over at first. Olagi, when she's at first, she's 5 feet in front of the bag. Juarez is 5 feet behind the bag. Different styles for different players when you play this game of softball.
That's inside. 2-1. Taylor Whitney and Sydney Doherty are the 3 up to the plate for Santiago Canyon. Hamilton takes her time getting the sign from Ontiveros, and she'll deliver 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And Ryan, again, you look at the outfield for Long Beach. Now Vega comes in a few steps. Torres is playing right on the logo in center field. And then you look over to the left, Cienfuegos back a little deeper in left field.
Looped into right. Shading back is Vega to make the catch. So Chrissy Woodling goes down on the fly out to right field, and up next is Taylor Whitney.
And you look at Vega in right field, and I'll be the first one to say it. I laugh at modernized equipment, being baseball or softball. The gloves are huge now. You know, and you sort of look at the size of some of these young ladies and then the leather hanging down on their right or their left. And you go, oh, my goodness.
Hamilton delivers inside to Taylor Whitney, who's batting .347 on the year. 1-0. And Mark, this is just one of the byproducts of an extremely offensive-minded team in Santiago Canyon. 347 is brilliant on most teams here in the state of California. And she takes an outside strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. However, Whitney here in Santiago Canyon, well, she's behind a couple of players who bat 400, 400, 400, 500, and 347 brings her in the 9th spot. That's an error charged to Amanda McCallop, and Whitney is over on first.
But Ryan, I was going to ask you, one of the numbers that really you have to look at when you look at Whitney is stolen bases, 23. So you've got speed. It's like stacking pancakes on each other. Little strawberry, little butter, a little more strawberry, a little more butter. What do you do here? You put speed, and then behind it you stack speed right behind it when you look at Doherty going to the plate.
Meeting in the circle for Long Beach and Coach Megan Martinez. As Doherty is up next, she'll be followed by Amber Elliott. And for Sydney Doherty, batting .477, once again with those 50 stolen bases on the year. Only caught 4 times.
Yeah, and I think the more amazing thing is the on-base percentage. You always say how the leadoff hitter sets the table for anybody else. I mean, I'm on the base over half the time I come to the plate. .518 is our on-base percentage. And I'm still going to argue with people. On-base percentage means much more than batting average. And I know people are going to say, no, that's not necessarily true because batting average is you hitting the ball and driving runs in. On-base percentage is me getting on any way I can. And as a leadoff hitter, I shouldn't be the RBI leader. I should be the person that scores the runs, not driving in the runs.
Doherty will go up to the plate. Named to the Southern California team for the CCCAA. Was in contention for Defensive Player of the Year in the Orange Empire Conference. Eventually that one ended up going to Jill Siza over at Fullerton and bunts this one foul. No balls and 1 strike to Doherty. And you look at the lineup for Santiago Canyon. One thing that also stands out, Mark, nobody in double-digit strikeouts.
Yeah, they all hit the ball. They all have a great eye up the plate, and that's why you can run, too.
Hamilton delivers left-handed on a pitch out, and a nice pick by Juarez at first to be able to keep the ball in front of her and out of right field. 1-1. Amber Elliott awaits her turn. At third is Denise Flores. Creeping in on home. Here's Doherty showing. Bunt and the throw down to second. Got her in time. Once again, the defensive play by Long Beach City College erases another runner from the pass. And Doherty is now up to the plate with a 2-ball and 1 strike count, but nobody on.
So do you call that a pitch out? You called it a pitch out. I just call it, I'm going to throw an outside high pitch. If you go after it, you go after it. If you don't, you don't. But an excellent throw by Ontiveros. Again, took her time. We're going to get timeout right here now.
Coach Megan Martinez having a word with the home plate umpire. You have Hamilton, who's in the circle. Ontiveros is behind the plate. At first is Julia Juarez. Daisy Velasquez is at second. Denise Flores at third. And Amanda McCallop is at short. Left to right in the outfield is Alyssa Cienfuegos, Sierra Torres, and Aaliyah Vega. Hamilton, the 2-1. Doherty takes out and away. 3 balls and 1 strike.
12 freshmen on this Long Beach team. This is going to be an exciting team. If you're a Viking fan, it's going to be an exciting team next year at Long Beach.
Here's Doherty sending this one into left field. It's going to get away from Cienfuegos. Getting around second is Doherty. The throw will go into third, and Doherty is safe there at third with the triple. So now if you're Santiago Canyon, you just have to wonder if Whitney escapes first and gets over to second just a shade quicker, do they have that 2-0 lead?
Well, and I'm going to go back, and again, you know me, I'm going to say it the way it is. The coaching staff calls timeout. Ryan, they motioned their outfielders to come in. You saw it sit next to me. They came in 2 steps. If you're where you were, that's a line drive to left field, and you're out of the inning right now.
Lineup change a little bit earlier for Long Beach City College. In left field is Amanda McCallop as Hamilton brings the first pitch of the at-bat to Amber Elliott outside. 1-0. One to nothing, Santiago Canyon leads Long Beach City College. They won yesterday afternoon 10-1. And this one is creamed into left field. It's going to hit the fence. Amber Elliott thought she had a home run. Ends up going with the trot into second. And no, she missed it by just that much as the run will score for Doherty. And Amber Elliott gets the double. Back-to-back extra base hits for Santiago Canyon College. And time is called by Long Beach City College, and who other to come up to the plate when speaking of extra base hits than Manoa Veit-Gertze.
Well, and the other thing is, too, you talk about the defensive switch in left field, and you have somebody that goes in the outfield. If that's not your normal position, if you're not used to that or haven't been playing on it, your first break or your first step is I stop. You know, sometimes it's not even stepping in. It's just not stepping. And that's your first move. You just stand there. And you saw on 2 of them where the ball was hit well, an outfielder that stops and stands there and then says, oh, now I've got to go back. That oh means the ball's already over your head.
1 run on just 2 hits for Santiago Canyon. Veit-Gertze takes outside. 1-0. 2-0, they lead it this afternoon, and we are in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Veit-Gertze will dig back in. And Hamilton will get the sign from Ontiveros. The 1-0. Up and away.
Okay, can I ask you something? Because, I mean, I know I'm getting a little anal on this, but if I'm in the outfield right now for Long Beach, I'm not stepping in. I'm backing up 4 feet for this young woman. She can smoke a softball when she turns on.
The 2-0. There's a strike on the outside corner. 2
Ryan,
balls.
Look at the lineup on the outfield for Long Beach.
In right field, Aaliyah Vega is even. Sierra Torres, actually the entire outfield is just at even depth. And Amanda McCallop not taking a step back. The 2-0 home. There's a breaking ball over to short. There's Cienfuegos to first. And she is able to make the defensive play to get out of the inning. But Santiago Canyon strikes once again. And it's now 2-0. Santiago Canyon leads over Long Beach City College. This is the Southern California playoff on SportsNetUSA.net.
Little drizzle coming down just to change the attitude here in Southern California. Nice day for softball when you think about it right now. Of course, when you look at the OEC, well, it was all Cypress this year. Cypress College 40-0. Brad Pickler, 1,300 career wins at Cypress College. Had an excellent season when you think about what's going on. And, of course, you know, you already talked about Paige Johnson. and what she's done. And
But
Gabby Zuccara of San Mateo, another Northern California Player of the Year. But some of the Players of the Year, Paige Johnson at Antelope Valley. Pitcher of the Year, Destiny Vasquez over at Cypress. Well, I guess you're 40-0. Your team's pretty good. I guess you should be Pitcher of the Year. Coach of the Year, Brad Pickler. And, of course, some of the All-State players. Well, we've got two of them playing here for Santiago Canyon. And I don't know, Ryan, we were talking about the way they vote on these players and everything else. I guess you and I couldn't be asked on this because we'd probably vote for many more players that weren't even named on the state team when you look at it. I mean, I think there were many more players worthy on this Santiago team. We know there was on the Cypress team. I'm sure there's even one or two that we might consider from this Long Beach team. And the way they played this year to be on the all-state team here for softball.
Up to the plate for Long Beach, it's Aaliyah Vega, Julia Juarez, and Cynthia Ruiz. The first three for Long Beach. And you talk about Alyssa, or Long Beach, one of the players that could be in consideration there is Alyssa Cienfuegos, who batted .427, had 8 home runs, 19 doubles, 41 RBIs, and 20 runs scored. This one's popped up into straightaway center under it, and making the catch is Amber Elliott. The defensive stalwart for Santiago Canyon makes the first out, as Cynthia Ruiz is up next.
Okay, so let me put you on the spot. We love Fullerton College. We love Speedy over there. Who do you vote for Defensive Player of the Year?
It's an interesting spot to be in because you have Amber Elliott in center field for Santiago Canyon, commits no errors on the year, and 5 outfield assists. As this one is delivered outside to Cynthia Ruiz, 1-0. But you look at Jill Siza over at Fullerton College, equal amounts of time, does commit 2 errors, but has almost double the assists. So the question is, how much does each player affect the team defensively?
But Amber Elliott plays multiple positions for Santiago and made no errors at multiple positions for Santiago Canyon.
Fouled back to the screen by Cynthia Ruiz, 1-1. Yes, Mark, I am delaying. As Piazza delivers this one, here's Elliott making the diving catch, and that's why she would have been my selection for Defensive Player of the Year.
What, is she auditioning for our votes or what? I mean, So, no, I'm going to go back to you. Finish up your thought because I've got to ask.
Yeah, my vote would have gone to Amber Elliott in center because she played third base. She also played short for a short time. She played pitcher, and we saw her in the last game that we were here in Santiago Canyon. They played against Santa Barbara College, and she made several wise defensive plays, as this one's delivered inside to Sierra Torres. Great defensive plays in the circle. She was able to be responsible. She knew the responsibilities of the different positions that she played at, and you have to take that into consideration. Torres, just a little dinker over to second, and Soika is able to make the throw over to first. That will end the inning, and Sam Ontiveros is stuck waiting on the on-deck circle. No runs, no hits, no errors, and no one left on base thanks to a diving catch made by Amber Elliott. 2-0, Santiago Canyon is on top of Long Beach in the 2017 CCCAA Southern California Softball Playoff.
And we weren't saying anything bad about the person who was picked defensively. Rightfully so. She does deserve to be Defensive Player of the Year. We just, from observing the game, you and I like to sit back as fans with Corey Nalen and Ed Ford and talk about the game and look at the game and say, okay, would I do this? Would I do this? Would I go that way? I mean, you already know, Ryan, I love Brad Pickler, but I'm looking at the team to my left here, Santiago Canyon. I think if they find pitching in the playoff, this is the team to beat, not the team that's undefeated. And so I have to go because there's still room for improvement at Santiago Canyon. You're 40-0. You're Cypress. Where does the improvement come from? Where do you get better at if you're Cypress College right now?
Well, we talked about it with a couple of other players who know softball in the Orange Empire Conference. Defensively for Cypress, that can be considered their one small weakness, is that on occasion they do have those plays where they give up runs to opponents. We saw when they played against Fullerton College, it was a missed cutoff person that allowed the only run of the game for Fullerton College. Otherwise, you had Cypress, who went on to mercy the Fullerton College Hornets. It could have been a shutout. So the question is, can they improve on defense? Yes, they can, because that can be considered their only minor weakness. Santiago Canyon will bring Emily Olagi, Mckenna Boyle, and Alyssa Cienfuegos. And Mark, we talk about Santiago Canyon and Cypress as Olagi lines this one into left field. It's going to one-hop the wall, and she'll make the turnover at first. Cienfuegos will throw it over to second, but Olagi is there easily with the double. That's the first hit of the bottom of the fourth inning for Santiago. Going back to what I was saying earlier, Mark, we talk about Santiago, we talk about Cypress. We know that they're two of the big favorites in this Southern California playoff, but who do you see as a dark horse type team to advance?
Well, I mean, Santiago was my dark horse team. I think Cypress is the all-on favorite. I think really the dark horse teams for this are the Northern California teams. Those are the dark horse teams. San Mateo's good. Are they as good as anybody down here? I don't think so. Ed Ford has said he doesn't think so when you look at those. But those are the dark horse teams. I don't think the dark horse teams, maybe Mount Sac is a dark horse team when you think about it. I think they've always had a good team. I like Cody over at Cerritos, a heck of a softball coach. And I think she could get her team to turn around. So I'm going to say Cypress, Santiago, Mount Sac, Cerritos. Those are my four from the south.
Designated runner over at second for Olagi is Amber Ranke, the freshman. And taking a 1-0 count is Boyle. Next delivery, and she sends this one into right field. Turning around is Ranke. She's going to head home, and Juarez is not able to take the cutoff and throw it home. 3-0, Santiago Canyon takes the lead. And Mckenna Boyle with the RBI single. We talked to Coach Lisa Camargo for Santiago Canyon. Asked her, other than Olagi, other than Vikertzy, who is the one player that you think can step up in your batting lineup? And she said none other than Mckenna Boyle. And Boyle shows it there with the RBI single.
Yeah. And you know what? Everybody's going to laugh when I took San Mateo, who's ranked 10 up in North. I like Diablo Valley, too. I think they're not a bad softball team. They're ranked number 8. People are going to take Sierra. Probably say that that's a team. I think they're ranked 3rd in Northern California right now. San Joaquin Delta, not too bad. Consumnes, how do you say it? Consumnes River, they're ranked number 3. But, you know, I'm going to take with the long shot. I'm going to stay with San Mateo. I think that's the dark horse team out of the north that could end up winning this whole thing.
Brianna Cruz is the designated runner over at first for Mckenna Boyle. Another run tacked on here in the bottom of the 4th inning for Santiago Canyon. And taking high is Alyssa Cienfuegos. 1 ball and no strikes. Amelia Hensler will be up next. 1 run on 3 hits. Fouled off to the right on the run and hit as Brianna Cruz was taking off towards second, 1-1.
You know, Santiago Canyon's like that mouse you can't find in your kitchen. You don't think it eat much every day. Just nibbles a little here, nibbles a little there, and then all of a sudden you realize it's just eating 5 pounds of cheese. They get a run here, run there, run here, run there. They can hit the home run. Next thing you know, it's 10-1. And you go, how'd they score 10 runs?
Hamilton, the 1-1. Showing bunt is Soika, and she's able to hold off on it, 2-1. Diving in from third is Denise Flores. Julia Juarez at first as well. Outfield straightaway with McCallum, Torres, and Vega. Left field to right. Vega taking a couple steps in now for the right-handed batting Soika. And she sends this one into center field. It's going to get all the way to the wall. Around third is Brianna Cruz. Soika is going to charge into second and stop there. Santiago Canyon finding their rhythm here as they are able to knock in another run. 1 run on 3 hits. And all of a sudden, the Hawks smell blood in the water.
Well, Ryan, I've got to ask you, if I asked you, how do you describe a run and hit? I guess all we had to do was keep quiet and just show the picture on that last play, because that goes back to that mouse that's eating your cheese and you don't think it's eating a lot. What does it do? It takes that one big bite out of cheddar and ruins your dinner all night long. What do? They start a runner. Somebody just gets the ball on their turf here, and they've got the speed to score from first base on anything that's a base hit.
So Hensler is up next. Chrissy Woodling is in the on-deck circle. And Hensler got a single her last time up, but was picked off over at first. Hamilton to Hensler, and it's 0-1. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning. 4-0 Santiago Canyon trying to assert themselves here over Long Beach City College. They took the 10-1 decision yesterday afternoon. And Hensler taking a wild swing at this one. Back on it, but getting handcuffed is Vega. She's able to make the catch. Cienfuegos cuts that throw off as Soika moves up to third. Hensler gets the sac fly.
You watch Vega in right field, has a very unusual style of playing the outfield. But you know what? She plays well out there. We might watch her and say, I'm not sure, a little awkward and everything else, but she's made the play. She made a play that earlier looked like, I think we're going to see if Coach Martinez is going to come out. I think the runner advanced too soon when the ball was caught.
Coach Martinez getting confirmation from the first base umpire that Soika did leave on time. 4-0 Santiago Canyon on top of Long Beach City College. Chrissy Woodling up next, and she's 0 for 1 with a fly out to right field. But you talked about Vega in right and how she plays a slightly unorthodox outfield as Woodling takes high and away for 1-0. On that play, she ends up going to the left of where the ball is going to land because the wind is going from home plate out towards left field, left center. So she goes and moves with the ball with the wind. As this one is hammered into left field, this is going to escape all the way to the wall. Getting around first is Woodling. She's going to head over to second. Cienfuegos, the throw is not in time. And Alyssa Soika will come around and score. So Santiago trying to pour it on here. They now lead 5-0 over Long Beach City College.
Ten hits in this game, and Ryan, when you look at them, they're a team that turns on the ball quickly. I mean, you see every one of the young ladies going against somebody that was in the circle that we were told throws a lot of junk with Hamilton. What did they do? They moved up in the box. They got in front of the plate before the ball can really do anything or dance for a pitcher. But they have enough strength, they have enough ability to turn and drive the ball up the alley.
One of the lineup changes in this bottom of the 4th inning for Long Beach is that Faith Hernandez is now in left field. And for Santiago Canyon, they're going to have Sabrina Canales up to the plate. And Canales was taking warm-up swings before the game. She'll be hitting for Taylor Whitney. And Canales hit 4 different practice balls over the fence, which is something that neither Vite-Gertzi or Olagi were able to do in practice. As a designated runner comes in for Santiago Canyon, and Kara Piper is at second.
Don't you love Santiago? We had parents ask us about, gee, what about the program? We said, hey, if you want to be able to play softball, great school to come to because you have a coaching staff that'll play everybody. Ryan, you see that right now.
That one bounces in there.
Everybody getting an opportunity to play for Santiago Canyon. Says a great deal about the educators for both these teams and realize that's what the women are out here. They're educators. Yeah, they're softball coaches, but they're educators. And they're there for these young ladies no matter what it is. The game, personal problems, problems at school. What a fine group of people they are, the coaching staff for Long Beach and the coaching staff for Santiago Canyon.
Canales with the elongated swing. Misses it for 1 ball and 1 strike. 5-0, Santiago on top. The 1-1. That's a high strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Armpits to knees. Armpits to knees. That's a strike zone.
Left field, Faith Hernandez shading towards the line. Big gap in left center. Showing bunt is Canales. She'll bring it back and turn on it. This one goes into left field. Making the turn at third, it will be Kara Piper, and she'll get home in time. The throw doesn't go to home. It's cut off by Denise Flores at third. She'll throw it over to first. They're not going to get anyone there, and it is now 6-0. Santiago Canyon continues to extend their lead here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
What did you say she was batting right?
For Sabrina Canales on the season, she was batting .339 with 4 home runs and 30 RBIs. She'll get a designated runner, and for her it will be Taylor Whitney.
That's not bad bringing somebody off the bench that can do that. I mean, that shows you how talented this team is.
Canales is a sophomore catcher out of Esperanza High School in Yorba Linda. And Sydney Doherty is back at the plate and takes outside and away for 1-0. 4 runs on 5 hits in the inning for Santiago Canyon. No errors for Long Beach. And there's a runner on first in Taylor Whitney. 6-0, Santiago on top as Doherty takes the strike. So that one stays out and away, 2-0. This is the 7th batter that Santiago has sent up to the plate, and there's only 1 out. Hamilton to home, and Doherty just sends this one over to short. Cienfuegos to second. The fielder's choice is not going to get Whitney in time. They're going to rule it a hit for Doherty. That's 6 hits in the inning for Santiago Canyon. And another single for Sydney Doherty. She's now 3 for 3. Whitney up to second. And it is 6-0. Santiago Canyon on top as Coach Megan Martinez calls time. When we talked to Coach Martinez before the game, Mark, you said, who's going to be in the circle? And she mentioned it was going to be Hamilton who throws the junk pitches, the ones that are supposed to stay low in the zone. And she said she hopes that that will keep Santiago Canyon in the yard, which it has. They have been able to limit the home runs for Santiago Canyon.
But if you look at what Santiago Canyon has done, every batter has moved up in the box. And when people watch softball, what they need to realize is many of these hitters will move up in front of home plate. It's not to decrease the distance for any other reason except to make sure the ball doesn't break where it's supposed to break at. Pick it up before it changes direction, before it hits home plate. And if you're going against somebody who is a junk pitcher and you move up 1.5 feet, Ryan, to 2 feet, I'm throwing a drop ball. That ball's not going to drop 2.5 feet in front of the plate, it's going to drop on the front edge of the plate. If I'm throwing a screwball and it breaks down and in on me, it's going to break down and in on me if I'm even with the plate. If I move 2 feet up, I'm taking away the break. Everybody for Santiago Canyon is in front of home plate, taking away the movement on these junk pitches.
Hamilton to Amber Elliott. This one's going to go into center field. Cienfuegos is able to make a diving play, which will save a run for Long Beach City College. That ball was going into center field. Cienfuegos stuck with it and was able to dive, make the defensive play, and it forces Coach Camargo to not allow her runner at third and Whitney to go home. But Manoa Veit-Gertzi at the plate now. Amber Elliott with the single. She's at first. Doherty is at second. And Whitney is at third. Bases are now loaded for Veit-Gertzi. 4 runs on 7 hits in the bottom of the fourth for Santiago Canyon as a strike is thrown to Veit-Gertzi. And Mark, this is a situation where Long Beach doesn't want to bring anything on the inner half of the plate to Veit-Gertzi that she can get a hold of.
Long Beach in at all the positions.
There's a breaking ball. Just stays high on the Ephus pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike, 1 out. Bottom of the fourth. Sun just peeking through the clouds for Santiago Canyon and Long Beach as this one's popped up into right. Trying to make the judgment is Vega. She'll throw home. The throw will be on time, but the tag is not applied. And Taylor Whitney is able to slide home and bring in another run. That's the 5th run of the inning. Doherty tags up from second. She's now at third. And Amber Elliott stays at first. The sacrifice fly brings in another RBI for Veit-Gertzi, and she is 1 for 3 on the day.
Let's give Vega credit because I thought Vega got underneath the ball very quick on that, lined her shoulders up right, made a beautiful stride to its own plate, and it really was. If the ball doesn't hop the way it does when it gets home plate, if it maybe skids on a little dust, it's going to stay low for the catcher, and I think Ontiveros has a play at home plate.
At the plate is Emily Olagi. It's the second time she has stepped up in this inning. She led off the inning as Amber Elliott will be going over to the second. The double steal works as it draws the throw from Ontiveros to second. Amber Elliott steals second. Stealing home is Sydney Doherty, and it's now an 8-0 lead for Santiago Canyon. And they have placed themselves just 3 outs away from moving on to the Super Regionals.
All right, break in between the inning. You tell me what Santiago Canyon doesn't do as a softball team.
As Olagi is at the plate, 0-1. That bounces in there. There's another steal for Elliott. The tag isn't able to be put down by Denise Flores. And Amber Elliott with another stolen base, 2 straight. And she's now standing at third, 8-0. In the inning, a total of 5 stolen bases for Santiago Canyon. Emily Olagi at the plate, and she'll step away from that pitch. And it will be 3 balls and no strikes. Like you mentioned, Mark, you look at Olagi in the batter's box, taking 2 steps up in the batter's box to take away the break, and she takes a 4-pitch walk. Will walk up to first base, and Mckenna Boyle is up next.
Out to the plate, number 6, designated player, Mckenna Boyle.
Boyle batting over 500 on the year, and this afternoon she is 1 for 2, reached on an error, and got a hit. She came around to score earlier this inning. Alyssa Cienfuegos is in the on-deck circle for Santiago Canyon. Faith Hernandez is in left field for Long Beach City College, taking a couple steps towards the line. Once again, it's Hamilton in the circle, Ontiveros behind the plate, Juarez at first, Velasquez at second, and Flores at third, with Cienfuegos at short. Mckenna Boyle takes a high strike. Olagi is standing at first, and Amber Elliott at third, the runners for Santiago Canyon. Faith Hernandez is in left field, Sierra Torres is in center, and Aaliyah Vega is in right. Boyle takes that one low, and Olagi is able to steal a base. And this time you see Ontiveros not throwing over to second in fears of Amber Elliott taking off towards home.
Olagi's just saying to herself, wait a minute, I could have had 51 stolen bases this year.
Mckenna Boyle taking that one low once again. 2 balls and 1 strike. 2 outs, bottom of the 4th inning, 8-0. Santiago Canyon is leading. Coming into this bottom of the 4th, it was just a 2-0 game. And all of a sudden, Santiago Canyon turning it on as that one is delivered outside, 3-1. Hamilton in the circle. Left-handed delivery, and Boyle takes this one just inside for ball 4. Bases are now loaded. And up next is Alyssa Cienfuegos. In her last at-bat, turned around on a softball and sent it into left field on a 1-hop to the fence. Got the RBI double and really started the scoring for Santiago Canyon in this bottom of the 4th. And she'll take the first pitch, pop it up to second, and Long Beach is able to get out of the inning. However, Santiago Canyon scores 5 runs on 7 hits, no errors, and 3 runners left on base. The score is 8-0. Santiago Canyon on top of Long Beach City College. This is the 2017 CCCAA Southern California Softball Playoffs on SportsNetUSA.net.
Well, I said I was going to drag you into the conversation. I am right now. We've given a lot of praise to Long Beach. A great program. It's had the years with Patty Gasso. I think it's got a beautiful young coach in there, and Megan Martinez right now, that is going to take this team, especially next year, Ryan, when her freshmen have another year underneath them as soft and be a team to reckon with. But let's go back to the team we're talking about. You tell me, you watched enough softball with me. What doesn't Santiago Canyon do as a softball team?
Well, earlier we were talking about it was the pitching. They needed pitching, and they've started to get that from Kristen Piazza. So far this afternoon, she's thrown up zeros on the board. That was what we really saw as their weakness, because we've seen Coach Camargo, she said they're a strong defensive team. That's displayed by Amber Elliott, who has played center, third, short, and pitcher. No errors. They're a strong run-scoring, run-producing team. They're a strong base-stealing team. So when you look at one of these games, as they're heating up at the end, it's tough to be able to evaluate something that they don't do correctly, especially when they're starting to get that starting pitching from the circle that they needed earlier.
And, of course, you and I think they've got 2 of the best corners on the infield for any softball team we've seen this year play at the community college level. I mean, White Gertz over third can do everything with a glove. You know, everybody discount her bat. Defensively, she is just magical. And then Olagi, well, the girl could give a clinic on how to play first base.
969 defensive fielding percentage for White Gertz. And then you look at Olagi, a 984. Combined between the two of them, a total of 5 errors on the season.
Yeah, I mean, that's just amazing when you think about it.
So Santiago Canyon is trying to shut the door and move on to the Southern California Super Regional. Long Beach City College They've got 3 outs to work with here in the top of the 5th inning. 8-0 is the score. Ontiveros showing bunt. Piazza delivers home, swing and a miss. And it's 0-1. No balls, 1 strike. 8 hits, or make it 8 runs on 13 hits. Ontiveros cues this one foul off to the right, 0-2. 8 runs on 13 hits for Santiago Canyon. And for Long Beach, it is no runs on 5 hits as they try to put something on the board here.
Palomar up over Pasadena right now, 4-3 in their game. Cosumnes River up 1-0 in their game.
That's way outside, 1-2.
I guess a team we should be talking more about, Antelope Valley 12. Santa Ana College 2 in their game.
Ontiveros, just a little blooper to Kristen Piazza, who's able to take it herself. That pop out is the first out of the top of the 5th inning. And up next, the top of the lineup is Daisy Velasquez, followed by Denise Flores.
All I got to say is my dark horse team up north, San Mateo 14, Yuba 0. It's my dark horse team. Cypress is in a dogfight at home. Allen Hancock 2, Cypress 2.
And you talk about College of San Mateo and Yuba. Yuba has yet to score in that 3-game series against College of San Mateo. Swing and a miss by Vasquez, and it's quickly 0-2. College of San Mateo has outscored Yuba by a total of 24-0 in the first 2 games.
And it sounds like nothing against Antelope Valley. 32 runs in 2 games so far.
Foul tipping that one into the glove, and striking out is Daisy Vasquez. And now you see Kristen Piazza bearing down and going after hitters. Denise Flores is up next as the final out for Long Beach to work with. They're trying to get back into this game, at least put 1 run on the board, so that way they can stay in it. Kristen Piazza sends this one, and it goes fair, and it's going to kick down the line. Denise Flores is going to stay at first, thought about taking that extra step towards second. However, she was able to read it. As she was a right-handed batter, it goes opposite way. She's able to read it in front of her and stay at first.
Well, and you love the fact, too, Ryan, even though the score is 8-0, she knows they've got to get that 1 run. Why give yourself up now? So a very nice part of running on her part right there.
Alyssa Cienfuegos at the plate. She's 1 for 2. Hit one off the top of the wall in the top of the 1st inning. Safe. Getting back in time is Denise Flores, but it wasn't by much, as behind the plate, Mckenna Boyle is now taking over for Santiago Canyon. Boyle gives the sign to Piazza, and this one is hit into right center field by Cienfuegos. Getting around second and to third, it will be Denise Flores, and Cienfuegos gets a double for Long Beach City College. A little bit of life, a little bit of hope, and Cienfuegos, with her 2nd hit of the game, puts 2 runners in scoring position, and Long Beach will now have Faith Hernandez come up to the plate. Coach Martinez calls time and wants a word with one of her assistant coaches.
Faith hitting .218, so they're going to bring Faith back. She was going to come up. And I think there's part of Long Beach too, Ryan, that maybe at this stage, maybe you look and you say we're down 8-0, but if we can get that base hit, we get to play the entire game. And I think Coach Martinez, I like what she's doing here. She'd love to be able to have her girls play the entire game against Santiago Canyon. If they can get 2 runs in here, we continue.
Number 6, shortstop,
McCallum started the game at shortstop. Got flipped for Cienfuegos, and this one is cued over to second. Over to first is Soikia, and that will end the game and end the series as Santiago Canyon will move on with an 8-0 score. In this game, they move on, winning 2 games out of the 3, and they go to the Southern California Super Regional. Once again, final score 8-0, Mark. Santiago Canyon didn't have anything going for them all of a sudden. That bottom of the 4th inning, they put it together.
Yeah, and really, first of all, let's congratulate Long Beach for making it to the regionals. A great beginning for Coach Martinez with this team. A lot of youngsters. We'll see Long Beach back next year. There's no doubt about it. When you know what she can do as an educator and a coach, she's done a marvelous job. On the flip side, well, the drum keeps beating for me because my dark horse team, which I think has a very good chance of repeating as state champions, has found something that, Ryan, we talked about it with Ed Ford when the season started. And Coach Lisa looked at us and said, I lost a couple pitchers. We're going to have to find somebody to step up. And all of a sudden, that magical third part, good pitching, excellent hitting, strong defense, that magical third part that wasn't there is now reappearing for this Santiago team. You said it, at the right time. Make it to the playoffs and let me peak at the right time. I can probably beat anybody. And you saw it, back-to-back days, 10-1 yesterday, now again today. I don't know. This is a team that's playing hot at the right time for the Super Regionals, and they're not playing 1 or 2 people. It's not 1 or 2 people, Ryan. It's 9 players that are winning it for this Santiago team.
And once again, giving credit to Long Beach City College for being here in this playoff series. 14 freshmen is what Coach Martinez said that she had. They're all going to be returning next year. That's going to be an experienced team, especially going up against Santiago Canyon in the playoffs this year.
Well, yeah, and we love talking to Coach Martinez. What a beautiful young woman she is. Another educator with a couple masters already. And let's say it again, these coaches are educators with a couple masters who adore her players, who adore her team. You know, Ryan, she talked to us and said, I get emotional. I'm glad we're not over in the dugout with her right now because I think if anybody feels bad for that Long Beach Viking team, there's a coach that has a heavy heart for her young women not getting out of this game. There is a bright future over at Long Beach for this softball program. I tell you what, if you're a Long Beach fan, next year can't come quick enough for you for softball. But their season ends. Santiago Canyon season continues. And talk about a bright future. Wow, a team that seems to have everything at the right time, the right place. And, yeah, they may go up against Brad Pickler. But, Brad, you're in a dogfight right now against Allen Hancock. I tell you what, this is a team that if you win and you host the Super Regionals, watch out for them. They've got pitching, they've got defense, and they've got timely hitting. This is a team I don't want to mess with in the Super Regionals. This is still my team to win the state championship in softball on the community college level.
So for Santiago Canyon, they're going to move on. They're now 31-10-1. And they are 17-4 in the conference. They're going to move on to the Super Regional. Unfortunately for Long Beach, this is where the season will end at 23-19. Once again, our final score, 8-0 for Ed Ford, Van Vu, Mark Pavlovich. I'm Ryan Osborne. Once again, Santiago Canyon 8, Long Beach City College nothing. This has been the 2017 CCCAA Southern California Softball Playoff on SportsNetUSA.net.